opening Caro-Kann. Caro-Kann opening is very simple to play and it's very good to defend face the first move e4. So e4 play c6 is the move that characteristic is to Caro-Kann. Okay, now d4, white controlling the center with 2 pawns, and now we're pushing the first pawn in the center. The pawn c6 support and consolidate the d5 pawn, so we can push d5. Now we're learning two variation principle. Firstly, the variation with knight d2 or knight c3. But after knight d2 or knight c3 is the same because I explained you after. And the second variation is to take on d5. Now we're learning the first variation, knight d2 or knight c3. After knight d2, we take on e4, knight takes d4. Why is the same? Because after knight c3, we also takes on e4. Knight takes e4 is the same position after knight d2 or knight c3. So now we play the move knight f6. We want to exchange the e4 knight. Knight takes f6. Pawn e takes f6. Now the pawn is coming to the king side. So our king after castle is very safe. c3. Now um he protects his pawn. Sorry. Knight f6. So c3, and now we play bishop on d6, developing the bishop. Bishop d3. He also developed his bishop. Now we castle, and now queen c2. He attacked the h7 pawn. The important move in this position is to play rook e8 check. We develop the rook at tempo with the move with check. So knight e2, and then we played h5, get more space in the king side. But the king is also safe. Castle, and now we're developing the second bishop, the white square bishop, bishop on e3, and then knight d7, rook e1, knight f8, rook d1, and queen d7. Look at, it's very simple to play with the white piece to black pieces, just developing the two bishop, rook e8 check, and then maneuvering the knight in f8 and play queen d7. For example, h3, rook d8, and now just the game to play. The opening is very good for black, and now just play. So in this position, black has a very beautiful two bishop, and the knight can jump in e6 or g6, and the rook is in the two line is very good. So we're passing to the next variation is the exchange variation. In this position, it takes d5. Just takes the pawn, bishop on d3, developing his bishop, knight c6, attacking the d4 pawn, and after we can play the move knight b4 to pressure to the d3 bishop with the b4 square. So white plays c3, blocking the b4 square and controlling the d4 pawn. We're developing the second knight with knight f6. Now knight f3 is the principal move, is the main line, but has also a side line with h3. h3 is a move that you can consider is very good move because you're controlling the g4 square for the bishop. So in this position, just play e5, push another pawn in the center. Pawn takes e5, knight takes e5, getting pressure on the d3 bishop. Queen e2, create a pin in the knights with the king. And now you can say to me, you lost the knight. The king is, the knight is pinned. Cannot protect that. But no, we have also a very beautiful move is queen e7. And now you counterattack with the bishop on d3. Why? It's knight f3. You can just take the bishop on d3. The queen cannot take because the king is pinned. So in this position, white has to move the king. And now we win the bishop. And for example, in this position, he played bishop e3 to block the pin. We just takes on d3 check, queen takes d3, and then play queen e4. Exchange the white queen, the two queen, and then developing the two bishop, bishop e6, bishop d6, and then castle. Now we're passing to the main line with knight f3. We play bishop g4, pin the knight, h3, bishop h5, castle, simply move e6, bishop f4, and bishop d6, and you want to exchange the very good bishop on f4. Bishop takes d6, queen takes d6, and knight bd2. He developed the second knight. Just castle, rook a1, rook a8. For example, queen b3, attacking the b7 pawn. Now we play rook a b8. Look, it's very simple. Just maneuvering the piece, developing every piece, very simple, and then put the bishop on d6 and exchange the bishop on f4 here. And then after this move, you can organize a big attack in the queen side. So, for example, rook ac1 and b5. For example, a3. Bishop b5 is not possible. Takes b5 is not possible because just play a6. The bishop is pinned. So, for example, the bishop go anywhere. He lost the queen. So, if after bishop takes b5, a6, and now we win the bishop. If queen play, for example, queen c2, just takes the bishop. And now we're winning. And now a3, we play the move bishop takes f3. Why now? Because if we play in this position after h3, bishop takes f3 is not very good. We have the better bishop because we pin. We have the better bishop than the knight. If we takes, queen takes, and the queen can go to g3 and get pressure at the king, our king up after the move castle. So in this position, after the queen takes here, going to b3, now the bishop is not pinned. So rook b8, rook c1, and then after a3, takes on f3. Because after if you play a6, white can play the move knight e5. And look at the bishop. He don't do anything. So takes on f3 is the good move in this position. Knight takes f3, and then just play the move a6. Simple. Protect the pawn and organize the rook on c8 and play b4, a4, b4, a5, and then the position is continuing and you have a very good plan to play. And why? And white has to defend the attack at the queen side before a5, rook c8. The Caro-Kann is finished. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye bye.